There is something about settling in for the night, truly settling, not just lying down with your thoughts still spinning. That takes a little help sometimes, a quiet companion, a soft voice, a world that exists only to carry you gently toward rest. So let yourself arrive here. Whatever the day held, it is finished now. You don't need to solve anything tonight. You don't need to remember anything. You only need to breathe and listen and let yourself be taken somewhere very peaceful. Tonight, we are stepping aboard a train. It is 1924, late October. The platform is lit by a single row of amber lanterns that sway almost imperceptibly in the cool evening air. The station is old, beautiful in the way that old things are, with their worn marble floors and the soft echo of unhurried footsteps. A porter in a deep burgundy coat moves slowly along the carriages, checking handles, doing his rounds. Steam drifts from beneath the engine in pale white ribbons and dissolves into the dark. You have a ticket in your coat pocket, a sleeper compartment, reserved just for you. Take a breath and feel that. The cool night air, the faint smell of coal smoke and wet stone and something metallic and warm all at once. The sounds of the platform, a distant conversation, the settling clank of luggage, the soft bell of a clock inside the station hall. None of it feels urgent. None of it asks anything of you. You are already where you are meant to be. You step aboard. The corridor is narrow and panelled in dark walnut wood, polished to a warm glow. Brass fittings line the walls. Little hooks trim around the window frames, the handles of the compartment doors. A small lamp at the end of the corridor burns with a quiet amber steadiness. The carpet underfoot is deep red, thick enough to absorb your footsteps completely, so that you move in near silence through this warm tunnel. You find your compartment. The door slides open with a satisfying whisper. Inside, it is everything a small, perfect room should be. 2 narrow benches folded into a bed along one side, already made up with white linens, and a wool blanket in deep navy blue. A window takes up most of one wall. The platform outside still visible through the glass, the lamplight touching the edges of things in gold. A little fold-down shelf holds a glass of water, and someone has placed a small sprig of dried lavender near the pillow. The room smells of old wood and fabric, and something faintly floral. You take off your coat, you settle in. The train does not hurry. It never hurries. That is one of the things you already love about it. After a few quiet minutes, there is a low, resonant sound. Not a whistle exactly, more like a deep exhale from somewhere beneath you. And then the gentlest possible movement begins. The platform starts to slide away, slowly, so slowly. The amber lanterns drift past the window one by one, each one a small farewell. The porter raises a hand as you pass. The station dissolves into dark, and then there is only motion. Smooth, continuous lulling. The rhythm of the tracks begins, that soft repeating percussion beneath everything. Da-dum, da-dum, da-dum. Not loud, not intrusive, just present, like a heartbeat, like something keeping time so that you don't have to. You settle more deeply into the pillow. Outside the window, the city is already thinning. You can see the backs of old buildings, pale stone facades with shuttered windows, dark balconies strung with the last of summer's geraniums, now faded and drooping beautifully in the autumn cold. A courtyard passes, a single light burning in a window on an upper floor, someone awake somewhere, reading perhaps, or just sitting. You will never know, and that is perfectly all right. It is enough to have glimpsed the light. Then the buildings give way entirely. Open countryside unfolds in the dark outside your window. You cannot see it clearly. It is night, and the world beyond the glass is mostly shadow and suggestion. But you can feel the openness. The sky is there, enormous and soft, with a few stars visible between the moving clouds. A field of pale stubble catches the faint moonlight. A line of trees passes like a slow signature across the horizon. The rhythm of the tracks continues. Da-dum, da-dum, da-dum. You realize that your shoulders have dropped, that your jaw has unclenched, that your hands, resting on the wool blanket, are perfectly still. This is what a train does. It takes the work of moving from you. You are going somewhere. You are always going somewhere. But tonight, the going requires nothing from you at all. The engine does it. The tracks do it. You only have to be here in this small warm room, carried. There is a knock at the compartment door, very soft. A young attendant opens it just a few inches, his face illuminated by the corridor lamp. He asks very quietly if you would like anything before the dining car closes. Tea, perhaps. Something warm. You say yes to the tea. He nods and disappears. And a few minutes later, just as the train curves gently around a long bend, and the view through the window shifts to reveal a dark river glinting below, he returns with a small white cup, perfectly filled, a curl of steam rising from the surface. He sets it on the little fold-down shelf without a word and slides the door shut again behind him. The tea is the colour of amber. It smells of something with bergamot and dried flowers and warmth. You hold the cup with both hands and let that warmth move into your palms, into your fingers, into your wrists. Outside, the river is still there, running alongside the train for a little while, silver and slow in the moonlight, the water moving in its ancient, indifferent way. You watch it without needing to understand it. There are pale grasses along the bank, and somewhere, distantly, impossibly, a single light on the far shore, a farmhouse perhaps, or a mill. You imagine a fire burning in that building, someone sleeping beside it. Then the river curves away, and the window holds only dark fields again, and the occasional ghost of a village with its church tower and its handful of lit windows, already gone before you finish noticing it. You drink your tea slowly. This is the gift of a train at night. The world comes to you, briefly, through a frame of glass, and then continues on its way. You do not have to follow it. You do not have to hold on to any of it. Each thing appears and then releases you, and you release it in return. The village, the river, the solitary farmhouse light, they pass through your attention like clouds through a dark sky. Present, then peacefully absent. At the end of your tea, you set the cup down. The blanket is very soft. The pillow carries the faint, clean scent of good laundering. You shift slightly, settling your weight, finding the exact arrangement of your body that asks the least of you. Your legs are warm. The rhythm of the tracks is all around you now. Not just beneath you, but woven into the sound of the room, into the soft rattle of the window in its frame, into the distant murmur of the train moving through the night. Da-dum, da-dum, da-dum. You might wonder, in a soft and idle way, where exactly you are going. And the answer that comes is not a city name or an arrival time. The answer is simply further, further into the night, further into the quiet. That is destination enough. The train passes through a forest. You can feel it before you see it. The light outside the window shifts, darkens, becomes something denser. Trees line both sides of the track now, their shapes just visible as moving columns of dark against dark. The sound changes too. There is an almost imperceptible hush as the open fields give way to this enclosed world, as if the forest is holding its breath just slightly around the passage of the train. Inside the trees, the night feels complete, absolute, private. There is no sky visible through the canopy, no horizon, no village light. Only the train and the dark woods and the soft rhythm of your own breathing. Something about it is deeply, wordlessly comforting. You think of all the trains that have passed through this forest before yours. In summer, when the trees were full and green, and the light fell through them in long blades of afternoon gold. In winter, when snow lay heavy on every branch, and the world was white and silent on both sides of the track. In spring, when everything was breaking open, leaf by leaf, blossom by blossom, and a traveller at this very window might have caught the smell of it even through the glass. And now autumn. The trees are in their last colour, though you cannot see it in the dark. You know it is there. The orange, the copper, the deep rust red. Somewhere above this train, above this forest roof, a moon is travelling. Somewhere a fox is moving through the undergrowth, pausing, lifting its head. None of it asks anything of you. The forest is long, longer than you might have expected, and there is something about that, about a thing taking longer than you expected, that becomes, in the right conditions, a kindness. More time in the trees, more time in the soft enclosed dark. You are not waiting for the forest to end. You are simply here, inside it, while the train carries you through. Your eyes feel heavier, not the heaviness of effort, the heaviness of ease, the particular sensation of weight behind the eyelids that arrives when the body has decided, quietly and without announcement, that it is ready. The same heaviness that used to come when you were young and being driven somewhere at night, when the car became its own small world of warmth and motion and soft sound, and the dark outside the window was simply the world passing, and there was nowhere to be but right there, eyes slowly closing. You remember that feeling. This is that feeling. The train emerges from the forest gradually. The darkness thins. A pale plain opens up on one side, a wide flat landscape where the sky reasserts itself in full, the clouds moving slowly across a scatter of stars. There is mist low over the ground out there, pooling in the hollows of the fields. In the distance perhaps, the suggestion of mountains. Dark shapes at the edge of the sky that might be clouds or might be peaks. You aren't sure, and you find you do not need to be. The attendant comes by once more, barely perceptible, sliding something beneath the door. A little card with the morning schedule, the breakfast options. You glance at it without really reading it. Brioche, coffee, something with eggs, all of it impossibly far away from this moment, this pillow, this quiet. You set the card on the shelf. There is a town coming. You can feel its approach before you see it, a certain gathering in the night, a coalescence of light. And then it is there, a small station, a cluster of buildings, street lamps burning in amber rows along a main road that runs parallel to the track for just a few seconds before curving away. A few figures on the platform bundled in coats, waiting or departing. A bicycle leaning against a wall. A dog sitting very still watching the train pass with regal indifference. The train slows only slightly through this town. It does not stop here. It glides through with a kind of courteous restraint, acknowledging the town's existence without disturbing it, and then continues on, and the buildings thin again to nothing, and the plain resumes, and the mist and the slow-moving sky. You watch it all go. There is a pleasure in passing through places you will never stay, in the glimpse that asks nothing of you but your eyes. That bicycle, that dog, that amber street lamp and the wet road gleaming beneath it. A small world, complete in itself, witnessed from a window, then released. You carry nothing of it with you except the warmth of having seen it. The tea is gone cold now, but you don't mind. The cup has been set aside. The blanket has been pulled up to somewhere around your chest, without quite remembering doing so. The pillow has received the full weight of your head. Your breathing has fallen into something slow and regular, synchronized. You might notice, if you paid very close attention, with the rhythm of the tracks. Da-dum, da-dum, da-dum. There is a long bridge somewhere ahead in the night. You don't know this, but the train knows it. It adjusts its tone slightly, a deeper resonance as the track runs over water and the sound expands into open air on both sides. For a few seconds you are suspended above a river or perhaps a lake, the darkness below perfect and absolute, the darkness above only slightly less so. The train is a lighted corridor moving through space. You are inside the light, then land again, the deep settled sound of ground beneath the wheels. You think, in a distant and untroubled way, about the dining car at the other end of the train. How it must look right now, with its white tablecloths all laid for tomorrow's breakfast, the glasses upended and resting in their cloth holders, the silver already set. The kitchen dark and tidy, a single lamp burning at the bar end of the car, just enough to see by, not enough to disturb anyone. A small vase of something, carnations perhaps, or dried heather, at each table, patient and still. You imagine the other sleeper compartments, their occupants all in various stages of the same surrender. A diplomat somewhere toward the front of the train, asleep in his suit jacket, a briefcase tucked under the bench, a pair of sisters in the compartment 3 doors down, one asleep and one still reading, her lamp dimmed to its lowest, her book held close. An older man in the compartment closest to the restaurant car, who has left his window shade partly open so that the passing countryside moves across the ceiling above him as he sleeps. A slow, dark film of fields and shadows and the occasional light. All of you moving together through the night. There is something profoundly comforting about that, about the company of sleeping strangers, the shared act of surrender. Every one of you has set down the day. Every one of you is being carried by the same engine, in the same direction, through the same dark, beautiful world. The train begins to climb. You feel it in the rhythm first, a very slight slowing, a deepening of the engine's voice, a sense of effort that is not your effort but that you feel in sympathy, the way you might feel the effort of someone carrying something heavy, watching from a chair. The track is winding through hills now, perhaps, or foothills. The turns come more frequently, gentle arcs that shift the window's view from open fields to close hillside and back again. Rain begins. It comes softly. First just a few drops on the glass, tentative, spaced far apart. Then more, finding their courage until there is a continuous soft sound on the roof of the train, a sound so deeply familiar to the sleeping body, so closely associated with rest and shelter and warmth, that something in you releases at the very first drop. Rain on a roof, rain on glass, the world outside going soft and silver, the landscape blurring at its edges, the hills becoming shapes, the shapes becoming mist. Inside the compartment, nothing changes. The lamp burns quietly. The blanket is warm. The pillow is exactly right. The only difference is this new layer of sound, the rain, adding itself to the rhythm of the tracks, to the low voice of the engine, to the occasional soft creak of the carriage over a join in the rails. It is almost too much comfort. The kind of comfort that makes the eyes sting very slightly with the relief of it. You let them close. The darkness behind your eyelids is soft, not empty. There is a quality to it, a warmth. In it you find that images begin to form without effort, the way they do when sleep is close. Not dreams yet, but the anteroom to dreams, the suggestion of things. You see the river from earlier, that silver thread alongside the track, the pale grasses, the single light on the far shore. Now, in this half-sleep, you are on the far shore instead, standing in the doorway of that farmhouse, wherever it was, watching the distant lights of the train pass. A train you were once on, the sounds of the house around you, a fire settling in its grate, a pot ticking as it cools, the very quiet breath of someone asleep in a room behind you. You stand there a little while, watching the train's lights diminish. Then you are back on the train. The rain is still falling. The hills are still passing, dark and soft. Someone, somewhere in the train, has opened a window slightly. You can tell because there is a thin thread of cool, rain-scented air coming from somewhere down the corridor. That smell, earth and rain and autumn leaves and cold stone and the particular sweetness of the night. You breathe it in and out. The train has leveled off. The hills have given way to a high plateau, perhaps open, exposed to the sky, swept now by the rain, the mist and the cloud moving so close to the ground that they are the same thing. The train moves through it with total confidence. The engine knows this route. Every bend, every grade, every bridge over every stream. It has made this journey before, will make it again, is making it now with you aboard, carrying you safely through the wet dark of October in the heart of the continent. You are safe, you are warm, you are being carried. These three things are so completely true right now that they don't need thinking about. They only need to be felt, which is easier, so much easier than thinking. Just feel the warmth of the blanket, just hear the rain and the tracks. Just know, without effort, that the engine is doing its work, and you can rest entirely inside its reliability. At some point, you couldn't say exactly when, the rhythm of the tracks begins to feel less like sound and more like something interior, as if it is no longer outside you but inside you, woven into whatever your body is doing as it settles towards sleep. Da-dum, da-dum, like a deeper version of your own heartbeat, like the train, and you have found the same time and are keeping it together. There is another town, far away, visible only as a soft bloom of light above the horizon, then a scattering of orange dots as the train descends toward it. This one is larger. There will be a proper station here, a real stop, the sound of doors and distant voices on the platform, the creak of the train adjusting itself after the halt, perhaps new passengers boarding somewhere ahead, perhaps the soft footsteps of the attendant in the corridor, checking that all is well. None of it will wake you. The sounds of a train station in the night are some of the most soothing sounds in the world. If you are warm and horizontal, and the stop is not yours, the distant announcements in a language half familiar, half other, the short sharp whistle, the slow exhalation as the doors close, then the rocking, returning motion, the wheels remembering their purpose, the rhythm finding itself again, the whole great enterprise of the train, remembering what it is and where it is going. You, inside it, go with it. The town falls behind. The rain eases slightly over the next few miles, becoming a very fine mist, barely a rain at all, just a softness in the air, a dampness that the window holds in its own kind of bloom. The landscape outside is deep and dark and gentle. You can see now and then the reflection of the compartment lamp in the glass. A small, doubled warmth, your own private light travelling alongside you in the dark. The night is very deep. You have been on this train for some hours now. The hours have not felt like hours. They have felt like this, soft and continuous and slow, like a river that moves without effort, without beginning or end that you could point to, just the movement itself, carrying everything with it. Somewhere ahead on this route, you know, in a distant way, there is a great city, Vienna, perhaps, or Prague, or some smaller city tucked into a valley between mountains, its churches and rooftops visible in the dawn. But dawn is a long time away, and arrival is a concept for the morning. Tonight there is only this, the train, the rain, the dark, the warmth. You feel yourself going, not going away. There is nothing frightening in it, going toward the deep rest that the body has been slowly, patiently building toward all evening, toward the place below thought, below image, below even the soft half-dream of the farmhouse and the river, a place that is simply rest, simply dark, simply quiet. The train will carry you there. It knows the way. You are not responsible for anything between here and morning, not the route, not the weather, not the small decisions the night makes on your behalf, the rain lightening, the mist thickening, the clouds breaking somewhere east to let in a pale wash of stars over a sleeping field. The train handles all of it. The world handles all of it. You only have to be here, in this room, under this blanket, your breath slow and regular and entirely your own. The lamp in the corridor has dimmed. The train knows it is late. The rain on the roof is barely a sound now, barely more than a memory of rain, the lightest possible percussion, the gentlest reminder that outside there is a world of water and dark and moving air, and that you are sheltered from all of it. Your hands are still, your shoulders are still, your breath comes and goes on its own, without your help, without your attention, and this is one of the body's great and ancient kindnesses, that even when you stop paying attention, it continues. Even when you let go entirely, it carries on. The lungs, the heart, the quiet work of being alive, all of it continuing faithfully in the dark of this compartment while you drift. The tracks, the rain, the lamp, the wool blanket, the window with its travelling dark, the whole long continent outside, doing what it does. Its mountains standing patient in the rain, its rivers running their courses, It's cities sleeping under the same cloud that has been rolling gently west all evening. It's farms and forests and small stone villages, all doing what they always do in the deep middle of an October night. You pass through all of it without disturbing any of it, and all of it passes through you, softly, like light through thin curtains, and continues on. Somewhere ahead, the train will slow for another small station. There will be a lamp on a platform, a porter with an umbrella, an old sign half visible through the rain. The train will stop. The train will start again. The rhythm will return, faithful and continuous, and you will not have noticed any of it. You will be elsewhere by then. You will be in the place the train has been taking you all along. Not a city, not a destination you could mark on a map, but this, the deep, easy country of sleep, where the sounds become part of the dark, where the dark becomes soft, where the soft becomes nothing at all, and the nothing is rest, and the rest is everything you needed. The train carries you. The night holds you. You are already there.